Hi and welcome to the PlayNation DVD. We've got a cracking lineup of PS2 games this month, including an exclusive look at EA's extreme motorbike game, Freakstyle. But first, here are some eye-sizzling images of the new cel-shaded racer from Capcom, Auto Modelista. We know what you're thinking. A cel-shaded racer? Must be rubbish. Well, you can dump any images of Looney Tunes-style cartoon racers you might have seen before, because Auto Modelista is promising to be an incredibly cool driving game with an instant arcadey feel. The cars look sleek, the tracks and collisions are satisfyingly solid, and the whole thing's more Akira than Animaniacs. All major Japanese car manufacturers are featured, including the likes of Nissan and Suzuki, and you'll be able to customise your vehicles, as in Gran Turismo 3. The Japanese version has online play that will allow gamers to buy and sell virtual parts on the net and challenge their mates to a race. There's no news yet on whether the UK version will include the online elements, but we'll know well before its release later this year.
We shouldn't be in the research center without security clearance.
Time Splitters 2 is the first-person shooter sequel to one of the great early games for PS2. Developed again by Free Radical Design, part of the team behind the N64 classic GoldenEye, Time Splitters 2 will beef up the rather sparse single-player experience from the first game. There'll be story-driven objectives, very intelligent enemies, and more historical periods to destroy. As you can see from this new footage from the first Siberian Dam level, the game has much improved graphics, with impressive snow effects, advanced physics for the destruction of items such as ammunition boxes, and greater detail in the character animations. Split-screen 4-player deathmatches and mini-games will again be included, as well as the ability to link up to 8 PS2s for multiplayer mayhem. The excellent Map Maker feature has also been expanded, so you can create your own fiendish multiplayer environments for your mates. IDOS expect to have it on the shelves in September. Scooby-Doo, Night of 100 Frights is the new adventure starring Hanna-Barbera's infamous cowardly cartoon dog. Scooby has to save the rest of the Mystery Inc. gang from fiendish villain, the Mastermind. Publishers THQ assure us that the cartoon graphics don't just mean a game for kids. There are over 12 levels of haunted comedy capers in locations such as a spooky cave and a creepy mansion. Look out for it in September.
Eradicated. Good work. Proceed to the next objective.
Fireblade is a new helicopter shoot-'em-up from Midway that jettisons boring flight sim elements in favour of Rambo-style destruction. The game puts you in the cockpit of 2 super advanced helicopters, the Talon for stealth and the Vendetta for extreme vengeance. Fireblade has 18 missions spread across 4 campaigns in environments varying from rainforest to desert. In stealth missions, your Talon craft can be used to drop off your troops deep behind enemy lines, while deftly shooting enemy soldiers' arms and legs off using a first-person shooter-style sniper rifle. In other missions, it's simply a matter of protecting your bases by blasting anything that moves, with the Vendetta's minigun, homing missiles and rockets. Fireblade looks fun, with a twisted sense of humour throughout, allowing you to blow up and raze everything, including trees, buildings, enemy vehicles, and even innocent animal life, such as cows and penguins. The game should be on shop shelves from June the 28th. The Thing is shaping up to be a truly frightening action-adventure. Developed by Computer Artworks, the game takes place after the events of John Carpenter's bloody and atmospheric 1982 horror movie. You're the leader of a squad sent to investigate the disappearance of a group of scientists at an isolated Antarctic base. Needless to say, frostbite isn't the cause. The problem lies with a ruthless alien parasite that turns its victims into hideous, half-human monsters. In a unique twist, the Thing has the power to infect any of your team members. This means you'll have to constantly persuade your paranoid squad that you haven't been contaminated, or they'll shoot you, or turn the gun on themselves in terror. Computer Artworks are particularly proud of the gory look of the game, which shows grisly, mutated creatures with glistening flesh, internal organs, and arteries pumping blood. Nice. The Thing will be unleashed in September.
How are your men holding up, Blake?
They're still alive, but I'm not sure which ones are human.
Jesus Christ.
Captain Blake's team's been exposed. Burn them.
It's McCready.
You're a smart man, Captain Blake. I'd like to get inside that head of yours.
I'm only asking you to trust me.
This is new gorier footage of the prequel to the blockbusting N64 and PC Turok games from Acclaim. Forget about blasting guns in dull and dusty corridors. In Turok Evolution, a lot of the action takes place outdoors. You'll need to creep through long grass to catch your dino prey. But watch out, if you're spotted by a herd of raptors, they'll gang up to rip your guts out. And that's before you meet the reptilian army of the evil Tyrannus. If you thought a velociraptor was scary, wait until it's armed with a plasma rifle. Watch out for Turok Evolution sometime in the autumn.
Calling all available units. Gag shootout in the Bronx. Check the warehouses near West End Street. Over.
RoboCop is the latest movie action hero to get the game treatment, this time courtesy of French publishers Titus. You play as RoboCop, viewing the mean streets of Detroit City through his android eyes in a first-person shooter. Just like the film, RoboCop has an inbuilt heads-up display, so anything you point your gun at is immediately identified as being passive or hostile. Kill innocents, and you break your prime objectives. But there are a lot of hostiles in this story. Rival drug gangs are staging shootouts all over the city, and a supercomputer called The Mind has decided to use the military hardware of the police force as its own private army. You have to restore peace, but you're not exactly a popular guy. You've been framed for the murder of the city mayor on the eve of the election. The twisting story takes in all sorts of locations other than the murky streets of Detroit. There'll be shootouts in the sewers and a standoff in an abandoned cathedral. Eventually, you'll have to take down the Mind itself, which involves a perilous journey up the OCP tower. It's guarded by Ed 1000, a new deadlier upgrade of the hapless Ed 209 from the film. RoboCop is out in September.
will not be tolerated. You have been warned.
Finally, apologies to those of you sick of football, but here's the PlayNation team showing the England squad how it's done, in Konami's superb winning 11-6. The game's only available in Japan, but expected to become Pro Evolution Soccer 2 this November.
Yes, go! いきなり打ってきた。弾いた。おっと、ゴー！右。これが通れば面白い。押し込め。入ったゴー！シュート。クロス左足でゴールゴールゴールゴールゴールゴールゴールここで打つ入ったゴールイングランド止めこれを弾いたそこだうわー決まったゴール入れば逆転
冷静にプレーしてほしいですね。
これは決めなくてはなりません。ズバッと打った。
PS2 hasn't been blessed with great rally games up to now. The rally bits in Gran Turismo 3 were good, WRC was okay, but that's about it. However, we've high hopes that V-Rally 3 from Infogrames will do the business, as the previous games in the series were smash hits on PS1. There's certainly a great number of cars, with every single 1.6-litre rally car included, plus a load of 2-litre cars, such as the Subaru Impreza and the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 7. V-Rally 3 tries to realistically simulate rally driving in 6 different countries. The Swedish stages are all about mastering the ice, whereas the desert tracks of Kenya require a different approach to finish quickest. We're keen to see how the career mode works, as you sign a deal with a team and have to live up to their expectations for the season. V-Rally 3 is due off the ramps any day now. This is the crazy-looking freak style from EA Sports Big, the people who brought you the SSX games. Most PS2 motorbike games have been a bit lackluster so far, but Freakstyle looks enormous fun. As you can see, spinning your bike 3 times in the air while jumping through a giant ring of fire is definitely the way forward. You progress through 6 circuit courses, a stunt arena and a special unlockable freestyle course. An SSX-style trick system should allow extreme sports experts to pull off big tricks straight away, and beginners won't be too bewildered. There's no music on this early footage, but the finished game will have exclusive DJ mixes. Check out the courses on show here, and say goodbye to gritty realism. Anyone after a proper motocross sim will be disappointed, but who cares? This looks like much more fun. Freakstyle should be in the shops by late July.
Answer. Hey, Tyler.
Jade, get out!
They're coming for you.
Whoa,
They're coming for me
Tyler,
too, but
slow
you've got
down.
time to...
Who's coming?
No time. There's a gun behind your fridge. Find it and get...
Ever feel like the whole world's against you? Spare a thought for the lass here. She's called Jade, and she's the star of the new light gun blaster Endgame, the story of one woman's battle against the world. Think conspiracy theories. Think shadowy corporation agents. Whatever you think, it's all an excuse for a hell of a lot of killing. Jade's only escape is to shoot her way through the hordes of enemies in levels set all over a futuristic Europe. As you can see, you're no stationary target. You can control your position to hide from gunfire, a bit like Namco's Time Crisis 2. Endgame is scheduled to arrive in late summer.
She's on the train.
Fresh from the arcades is a home version of Namco's spectacular ski games. Alpine Racer 3 takes the best bits of the two coin-ops and remixes them for your television. Downhill racing is the order of the day, but this isn't just some SSX clone. Each of the 7 playable characters have wildly different skills and aren't restricted to just snowboarding downhill. You can strap on a pair of full-size skis or even a set of snowblades. Many of the courses are modelled on real-life slopes in France and Switzerland, but there are also a handful of crazy bonus tracks on which to catch some air. The insane Cybertrick Monster Course is like a giant metal roller coaster dropped on top of a city, and it's a great laugh. Alpine Racer 3 is available in Japan now, but it won't make it over here until the weather starts to get a bit chillier. That'll be September then. You've been inside haunted houses in video games before, but you've usually got a gun to keep any nasties at bay. That's not the case in Project Zero. All you have is a camera. This isn't your average survival horror game. A little girl called Miyu goes into a strange mansion to find out about the disappearance of her brother. As she wanders along dark corridors, she hears strange noises. Figures reflect in mirrors, but are gone when she turns around. She's frightened. When the ghosts do show themselves, her camera is the only protection. Luckily, it's a special piece of kit. The camera is enchanted, and getting a shot of a spectre with it banishes them back to the afterlife. When a ghost appears, you quickly look through the viewfinder and try and snap the spook before he gets you. Of course, you can't see as much through a camera lens as you can from a Resident Evil-style fixed camera view. That's where the fear comes in. Project Zero is a bit different, but it looks like it tells a decent ghost story. Developed by Tecmo, whose previous games include the Dead or Alive series, watch out for it in the autumn. It may not have the graphical pizzazz of Final Fantasy X, but Suikoden 3 from Konami looks like it will be every inch as immersive a role-playing game. It's the story of 3 young warriors in their struggle to find the legendary fire hero, and you know it isn't going to be over in just a few hours. There's a whole new battle system that lets you swap positions at any time during a fight, and there's plenty of dragons too. We know it's not going to change the RPG haters' minds, but just look at all this classic Japanese stuff. Crazy cartoon cutscenes, random battles, huge fantasy creatures and massive free-roaming environments. All this and a duck in a crash helmet. We can't wait to see what the finished product will look like when we finally see it in the UK later this year. In the meantime, sit back and watch some more footage of this pedigree role player. If you like to see big blokes fight for real, you probably gave up on the WWF ages ago. The Ultimate Fighting Championship is where it's at, with fighters legally beating each other to a bloody mess. It's the perfect material for a console game, of course, so UFC Throwdown is on the way. It has all the fighters from the real tournaments, and the fighting style is a decent copy of the real thing. Sluggers like Tito Ortiz trade blows, before going to ground and trying to lock on to a submission hold. This means tactically wearing down your opponent with kicks and punches before getting him in a painful hold on the floor. It's a very different fighting experience to the likes of Virtua Fighter 4, but is definitely violent enough to be worth watching out for in July.
Hello, I'm Barney, the Tips editor of PlayNation. Hi, I'm Joff, and I'm Starfighter on PlayStation.
Medal of Honor is one of the most hotly anticipated first-person shoot-'em-ups on PlayStation 2. It's also one of the first really original ones that isn't just a direct port of some old scrappy PC game.
Yeah, and it means that the control mechanism is pretty good. It's much easier to shoot than it would be in some game that started life on PC.
I think the shooting in it is excellent. I mean, the recoil on the machine guns, if you just stand there and fire, the gun shakes around so much that you can't hit anything, so you have to go in short bursts, and it feels real. It's good.
If you're using the sniper rifle, once you've taken one shot, it'll throw you right off balance. You've got to retarget, which is realistic, and all the weapons are authentic, and that's awesome. Just to be able to kind of feel a little bit what it's like to have a 45 in your hand or whatever.
We was talking about the first level. You're doing the Normandy landings. A lot of people really like this. It's trying to recreate that bit in Saving Private Ryan where everyone is getting horribly killed. The level's good. It's better than just about anything else before, but it seems to be lacking in bodies. It's not quite violent.
Yeah, I mean, you can't expect PS2 to replicate the whole bloody D-Day landings.
I'm not expecting it to replicate the whole D-Day landings. I'd just like to see a bit of blood, really, because people shooting and dying. It should Saving Private Ryan. Sort of, you get the message that war is very violent. In this game, everything seems quite clean.
This is a kind of serious historical event, and it does feel so serious when you're in it. And there's bombs going off everywhere, and people are dying all around you, and people are shouting at you. The first time you play it, it racks your nerves. I think it's got some of the best looking graphics in a first-person shooter. It's hugely atmospheric, and it's deep enough for you to both pick up and play straight away, but also to spend a lot of time with.
Hi, I'm Barney, the tips editor for PlayNation magazine.
Hi, I'm Joff, PlayNation Starfighter. There's been quite a few rhythm action games this year, mostly from Japan, and most of them take about an hour to get through in total. They're funny, they're flashy, but they're not particularly deep. Frequency, on the other hand, is a game that lets you actually take part in playing the music a little bit more. So every single button you press triggers some sounds. Do them in the right order and in the right time, and you'll not only start the track playing, but you'll get points. And it's a real point-based game as well, which is good.
In most music games, you are portrayed on the screen as some kind of character, such as Rez, or in Britney's Dance Beat, you're a dancer. Space Channel 5, you're that woman.
Don't forget Rapper the Rapper.
Rapper the Rapper, it's a person, but this game is a lot more abstract, so it sort of puts you into the music straight away. You're not distracted by any sort of idea that there's you're getting through levels and playing a game. It's all about listening to the music and sort of hitting the buttons and the beat at the right time.
Not everyone's going to enjoy this selection of music, but it's quite a muso selection actually. The music that's in there is really good. There's no doubt if you like that sort of American rock music. Got the Lo-Fi All-Stars in as well, which is cool.
There is a big load of music on it, but it all seems to be fairly random, I found, and I don't think anyone's going to listen to this or play this game and like all of the music. And on some of the tracks, if you've got no idea what's going on with the music, it's quite hard to play, and it just seems to make sense.
Yeah, but I think it's got musical guts. I think it makes a difference that they're actually good with the music, and I think it opens your eyes to a lot of new music as well, because you take part in it, it feels a bit more accessible. I don't really agree with the idea that it's difficult to play if you don't know the style of music. But when you're hammering away at the button and pressing, you're actually making the bass track or something like that. I think that really works well.
I'm Jamie. I'm the deputy editor of PlayNation magazine.
I'm Dean Scott. I'm the reviews editor of PlayNation.
So, Spider-Man.
I really had high hopes for this because the PS1 game was brilliant. I mean, given the kind of technical limitations, it was a fantastic action game. And I'm kind of glad they stuck to the vaguely the same mechanics as how that game played, because I think the feeling you got of being Spider-Man and do get in the new game is spot on, and that's basically the key thing you want from a Spider-Man game. You want to feel like Spider-Man.
Absolutely.
And you can do everything. You can swing skyscraper to skyscraper. You can zip up onto the ceiling. You can hit people with web fluid, tie people up, do all the cool Spider-Man stuff. and it's really intuitive on the pad as well. You know, you'd think it'd be probably quite difficult to convey a man swinging and skyscrapers and doing all this stuff, but Spider-Man control system works really well.
Yeah, it's very good actually. It's very intuitive. I was sort of, flying about and getting used to it after several minutes. Really, it was really good fun. And I love the fact that it kind of takes, like, say, what the PS1 game did, but you haven't got any foggy kind of drops into the city. It's kind of all clean.
That's
you can
what's
see
cool
all the
about
traffic.
it. I mean, you
do get vertigo.
Well, you stand onto a building and you can just see for miles. I mean, you can see right down to street level and you can see cars. I mean, it's a bit of a cheat because you can't actually go down to street level.
Yeah.
You get down so far and it says you're dead or whatever. But just the feeling you get from being on top of a building, it's like there is this enormous city just out in front of you.
Yeah.
And there's nothing, and there's no fog or anything to impinge what you see, and you can just basically get on with swinging about and have a laugh.
What do you reckon about the kind of indoor and the outdoor levels? Because I like the outdoor levels. I thought they were cool. I think they're slightly better than the indoor ones. I found the camera was a bit tricky sometimes in the indoor.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because you've got when Spider-Man outside, Spider-Man's in the sky, and it's easy for the camera to kind of show a thing that's in the sky. And when he's inside, he's kind of up on ceilings and on walls and zipping around very, very quick. And they've taken his attacks, and obviously they've built on it because one of the cool things about that game is you start off with just basic kicks.
That's
and
right, yeah, and then
you kind of progress to combos and stuff the more you go along, which is cool.
Sort of webby fists and things like that.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't feel like they had a Spider-Man game and just used the film as an excuse. They've taken the cool bits from the film, and they've also invented a lot of other new cool bits that make it into a decent game. And I think it is a good game.
Alright, I'm Jamie, I'm the Deputy Editor on PlayNation.
And I'm Dean, I'm the Reviews Editor on PlayNation. Smash Court.
Well,
finally, a decent tennis game on PS2.
Absolutely,
We've been waiting a while for this. It's got probably the best control system of any tennis game ever.
Do you reckon it's better than Virtua Tennis?
Well, the thing is, Virtua Tennis was good in the arcades, but Smash Court is more of a simulation type game. You can hit a top spin or a back spin or a lob, and there's none of this, hitting audacious lobbed volleys when the ball skids at you 100 miles an hour. If it's the kind of ball you would slice into the air, that's exactly what happens. And basically, because of the control system, you can hit the ball anywhere on the court you want to hit it. It's not a question of I'll vaguely hit it into that corner. You can basically place it almost to the foot. And that degree of control means you really got to know what you're doing.
I love the fact when you got the Smash Court action. You get the little circle and you can go in and just like smash it into their face.
I think it needs that though, because you think that on the service side, it's a really, really difficult game to serve because it doesn't give you any indication of where the ball's going to go. No. It's a question of kind of leaning the analog stick into the exact right place and pressing the button. And it's good because it gives your opponent no idea where you're going to serve to, but it is kind of a hard learning.
What about the I saw the first person mode the other day.
Oh, it's just a farce. I think that's the one thing I think I'm quite critical of that game is that the unlocks on it are quite silly. I mean, you'll play a perfect game in a challenge mode or whatever, and you'll earn enough points to buy stuff, and your options are buy picture of Lindsay Davenport or buy new camera angle, and then there's the first person camera angle, which is just the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
No, it's good fun.
And in the summer people tend to watch a bit of Wimbledon and kind of get into the tennis feeling, and I think this is the game that hits all the buttons. If you're into tennis, you should definitely get it. The only question mark is whether or not Sega are going to release a version of their arcade game Virtua Tennis.
Jedi Starfighter is the premier space shooter on the PS2, but if you can't be bothered to slog through the game, we'll show you a shortcut. Go to the options screen, select the code screen, and then input P, N, Y, R, C, A, D, E, and push start. This will unlock the whole game, including missions, movies, artwork, and new spacecraft. To use classic Star Wars ships, go to the bonus menu and select your craft of choice. Then choose your mission as normal. You can now pilot the X-Wing, or if you prefer to live out dark side fantasies, go for the TIE Fighter. Deus Ex is a dark, disturbing romp through an X-Files-like future where nothing's as it seems. It's also rock hard, so you might want some cheats. To gain access to the game's cheat menu, press Select during gameplay to enter the Goals, Notes and Images screen. Now quickly tap L2, R2, L1, R1, Start, Start, Start. This will make an extra file tab appear on the right of the screen. Clicking on this tab will enter the cheat menu. The many cheat options now available include health refills and invincibility, allowing you to wade through the game like a god.
This place, it's just water, isn't it?
If your fighting skills leave a lot to be desired in Final Fantasy X, then maybe you could use some help. In this game, the key to success is in mastering the various elements. Some fights can be easy if you use the elements correctly, such as this tough one against wobbly boss Spherimorph. If you attack it with standard moves, you won't even make a dent, so use the elements to your advantage. The easiest way to do this is by summoning an elemental Aeon. As soon as Spherimorph starts casting blizzard spells, you know he's using the ice element, so summon Ifrit, the fire Aeon. Have Ifrit use his fire and magic attack, which will force Spherimorph to change his element to fire after a few hits. Now if you use a fire attack on Spherimorph, you'll heal him, so switch to a standard attack. You can now keep attacking him with standard attacks, causing him damage, whilst Spherimorph's constant fire attacks will actually heal your fire Aeon, thus rendering you effectively invincible. You can also heal by casting fire on yourself if you need more health. When you feel you've ground down Spherimorph, dismiss the Aeon and get the sorceress Lulu to cast her most powerful blizzard spell to finish him off. Killing Spherimorph with standard attacks will take time, but you're certain to win what would otherwise be a difficult battle. Here's a neat tactic for beating an opponent in Virtua Fighter 4 using a suicidal ring out. When you're playing as Kage in a low-walled arena, move back against the wall. Wait for your opponent to approach and press back, punch and guard simultaneously to fling your rival into the air. If your timing is quick enough, press up, punch and guard together to grab him out of the air and fling both of you out of the arena. If done correctly, it'll result in a ring out, though you'll get the point. If you want some cool new clothes, Virtua Fighter 4's Kumite mode allows you to win extra costumes for your characters. You can also unlock a character's original Virtua Fighter model. All you need to do is achieve the rank of First Dan in Kumite mode, then when you're selecting your character from the character selection screen, hold down punch and kick until the fight starts. Your character will appear in his Virtua Fighter 1 incarnation.
Warning, the following motion picture is so exhilarating, it can only be seen in IMAX theaters and other large format cinemas.
I've had my fair share of injuries, over 26 broken bones, dislocated spinal column, multiple hip fractures, internal bleeding, 9 concussions, 8 operations.
Been in a coma, I flatlined twice.
I'm here punishing myself some more.
The games are intense.
The X Games is the biggest event in any extreme sport.
The athletes are fearless.
It takes a lot of technique and a lot of skill to be able to do the stuff we're doing.
And their stories can only be captured on a screen that's 10 stories tall.
They're all tweets. They've all got issues.
Hardcore. The only degree I have is anger management.
Touchstone Pictures and ESPN invite you to experience the ultimate thrill, the ultimate style.
This guy's crazy, you know, what else can I say?
And the ultimate rush. exclusively in IMAX theaters and large format cinemas worldwide.
Thank you!
Deep underground, in a top-secret research lab, security has been breached. A deadly virus, capable of contaminating the entire world, has been released by Umbrella Corporation.
Oh my god. We have to get out of this building! What was that? It's the brakes!
It's okay, we're here to help. Now, an elite team has been sent in to stop it.
5 hours ago, Red Queen went homicidal.
Who's the Red Queen?
State-of-the-art artificial intelligence.
The corporation's keeping a few secrets down here. Something you're not supposed to see.
But they have only 3 hours left before it begins infecting and mutating the whole human race.
Everyone stay calm.
What's that?
She bit me, man. She took a chunk clean right out of me.
You have to get out.
Don't listen to anything she says. She's a holographic representation of the Red Queen.
She may be our only way out of here.
Oh, God.
How is she still standing?
She isn't standing now.
No one is immune. Resident Evil.
You're all going to die down here.
Who am I? You sure you want to know? If somebody told you I was just your average, ordinary guy, not a care in the world, somebody lied. Truth is, it wasn't always like this. There was a time when life was a lot less complicated. Can I take your picture for the school paper?
Sure. In this lab, we have 15 genetically enhanced super spiders.
There's 14. One's missing.
Peter, are you all right?
I'm fine.
Pete, look, you're changing. I know, I went through exactly the same thing at your age.
No, not exactly.
Wow.
Peter, may I introduce my father, Norman Osborn?
Great honor to meet you, sir.
Harry tells me you're quite the science whiz. You know, I'm something of a scientist myself.
What the hell is that? Whatever it is, somebody has to stop it.
With great power comes great responsibility.
This is my gift.
Wow.
It is my curse.
Who are you?
Who am I? I'm Spider-Man.
Do I get to say thank you this time?
You do too much. You're not Superman, you know.